the back side of my 7.3 Powerstroke. Front and center right here is the turbo unit right here. Hi everybody. I am going to go over some of the things that I'm planning on working on the truck while we're here in New York. So you know I'm the big list guy, right? So I've got my lists all built up here. It's a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of it, but so let's see here. So let me tell you some of these things I collected, these ideas I collected over time, over the last 8.5, 9 months from being out on the road and saying, hey, you know, I wish I had that, or I don't need this, so I can get rid of it. So, you know, part of this round of improvements is not only adding some features, but like removing some stuff. You know, if I've been carrying an item or items for all these months and haven't used it, then I don't need to be carrying it. And then some of the things, like here's a good example. I just saw it sitting here. I was cleaning out the cabinets and this came out. This is a, you know, a little ceramic electric heater. I bought this on my drive up to the sugar beet harvest last fall. Uses a ton of power, AC power, but at the sugar beet harvest, the campground they had us at, I had plug-in, so I had shore power. And that little heater was absolutely great. If I didn't have that heater with me, we would have been in trouble because it was definitely cold up there. And I could put that thing on and it heated up the inside of the truck really excellent. So I'm so glad I stopped and bought that thing on the way up. Excuse me. Hey buddy. Sorry about that. Lefty, you know, he's set up shop outside the truck here. I have him on his leash clipped to the back of the truck, but in this community here, people walk a lot, and he's raising hell with people that go walking by, and I don't want my folks to get blacklisted here or get a bad name for themselves, because I'm going to be here. I'm estimating about 6 weeks, and I don't need Lefty out there barking at every person that goes walking by. So we were talking about that heater, so that's going. I don't need that anymore because I have the diesel heater. So I don't need that. So speaking of the diesel heater, one of the projects that I have on my list is getting the fuel line for the diesel heater tapped into the main fuel tank. I'll show the video right here of where that tap is, that plug on the side of the tank. And that's my target, to be able to use that to run the diesel heater. Okay, that's one of my items. So I sat down both yesterday and the day before and went on an ordering spree. Things that I had determined that I needed to add to the truck, so I needed to buy some stuff. I never liked doing that, but you know, this is my house and these things are necessary in my mind. So I bought one of those pop-up outdoor shower tents, shower/bathroom, and I also ordered a propane instant, you know, on-demand water heater. So my goal is to be able to take a warm shower. Okay, I'm gonna swing up to Lowe's and buy a 20-pound propane tank. I already have a 12-foot hose and a regulator and a filter. And so when I get to a camp location, I pop up that tent outside. I hook up my, I'm gonna put some type of mounting system where I can kind of hang that water heater. You know, it has to be outside, obviously, because it has flame. So it'll mount to the outside of the truck and run the hose to the propane tank, which I'll mount to the back bumper of the truck. And I'll have the ability to take a warm shower, and I can also get warm water for whatever else I need it for. So that's something. Those are things that I ordered. I also ordered a microwave. So originally I was going to put a microwave in the truck, and then it just got kicked down on the list, the priority list, when I was building out the truck, and just never got around to it. And I want to focus more on feeding myself well. I got on the scale here at my folks' house, and I am 168 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't remember that I've ever been that light. When I, prior to leaving town last summer, I was, right about 190. So I've lost 22 pounds. And I need to put some of that back on. And that's about feeding myself well with food that I enjoy. It's having Dinty Moore beef stew and Kansas soup and potato chips and that kind of stuff. It's good every once in a while, but as a regular thing, I just got so burned out on that kind of stuff, and that makes me not eat as much because I don't really like what I'm eating. So putting a microwave in, it's going to go right up on the wall here, so I'll pop a little video in showing where that's going to go. Perfect location for it. I'm going to put a couple of supports along the wall, wood shelf, boom, microwave, cord will come down. There's an AC outlet right on the wall there, so no worries. It should be a real simple installation. So I've got that coming, a microwave coming. I want to redesign the bed, the way that it folds out. When I built this, it seemed like, this was the logical way. I've got a hinge on the piece of wood. You kind of lift the mattress up and flip the piece of wood out, put the supports under it. And it works, yeah, but I have to lift the mattress up all the time, which to do that, because you got to kind of close the mattress up to be able to lift it up, I have to take the folded up blankets and the pillows and everything off of the bed and set them aside over here, which means I have to have room on the counter or else I'm setting them on the floor. So it kind of snowballed into this whole kind of dramatic operation that I have to go through to fold the bed out. And if I can, I've got some sketches on how I'm thinking about doing it. If I can have it so that the piece of wood that's under the couch, when the bed is in the couch position, if I can just slide that piece of wood out, which, yeah, that's no problem, but then how's it going to stay in place? So I need to come up with that it can slide out, but then kind of hook, so it's not going to come off of the bench that it's needs support from. So I'm going to be working on that. I have to fix my under-counter LED lights that I use. The controller for them, it's a Bluetooth controller that runs off an app on my phone. No big deal, it works great. But because I separated the LEDs into, that counter over there and then this counter here, so it's two separate strips with corner connections, and those things are notoriously kind of sketchy, but they all work. The problem is that set over there under that counter, there's something with the connection, and so when these are on bright white, that one can be anything from purple to blue to green, the wires, and I can get over here and kind of jam my thumb in the wires and it changes color. So I've got to redo them, the wiring, not a big deal. The controller is up in the cabinet up here behind all my switches, so I can just drop that one large control panel, switch panel, and I can get right up in there. That's how I did it originally. And I know exactly how I'm going to rewire it, and it's going to be, then it'll be fine. So that's on my list of things to fix. I'm building a fold-out countertop for right here. I ordered some hinges that are shelf support hinges that will be, and I'll have a picture here somewhere, that'll allow this shelf to fold down against the wall when not in use. And then when I flip it out, the hinges are 20 inches of support, and my shelf is going to be, the counter piece is going to be 26 inches, so the hinges will be almost the entire length of it. And that's going to stick out here, and I'm going to put it at a height so it's good for my laptop. Because right now, I put the laptop on the bed, which is a great height and everything for it, but I can't get my knees under it, so I'm kind of, it's not comfortable. And I do all my video editing on the laptop, and the more comfortable I am, the more apt I am to make a great video, because I'm comfortable and I'll spend more time on it. But when I'm, you know, clunking around and not in a comfortable position, it wears on me. And so for future work on the laptop, I'm going to build this countertop here. Excuse me. Lefty. Sorry about that. Same drill. He's barking at a poor guy up the street here. So, okay, fold out countertop. I'm toying with how I can put a small sink in here. If I put a sink in, and I have the perfect spot for it. This, let me grab the camera. Right here, I could put a sink in this. I've got clear access for running my drain, and actually I can go right down through here and right outside. So it's talk about ideal. I'd have to punch one hole through the outside of the building, through the outside of the wall, a hole down through this lid to get to that, and then the cutout for the sink itself right there. So it's really lends itself well to being able to put that in there. But it's a big step, because then I lose this countertop for anything else. You know, obviously I can put a cover over it. It's just a big commitment, I guess. Hey, do you mind? Leave these poor folks alone, okay? Stop that. All she's doing is checking her mailbox, Lefty. All right? Well, don't look all innocent now. Come here. Hey, this way. This knucklehead. All right. Come on. Come inside the truck. Come on. Come on. Jump up. Jump up. I don't want to hear you barking. Stop that. Okay? No talking. No talking. Leave those people alone. Okay. So, injected control pressure sensor, that's going in today. I may need to run to the store and buy a 1 1/16 inch wrench or deep socket if they have it, to screw the new one on. The old one, if it's the original one, uses a 9/16 or 5/8 or 15 millimeter, I can't remember which, one of those. But it's really hard to get to, and a lot of guys end up using like a big chisel and a hammer, and they put the chisel into the sensor and hit it with the hammer to spin it loose, and then you can finger it out. So I'll have to see, especially in the van, it's going to be even harder to get to than it is in a pickup truck. So I'm going to work on that today. While I'm in town, I'm also doing another oil change, And one of you guys, I think it was Bob, commented about using some Hot Shots oil additive. So I ordered some of that from Amazon. And it'll be here in a couple days. And then I'll pick up some more Rotella and a new oil filter. I'm also going to change the fuel filter. I have one already. And put a new fuel filter cap on it, because I hear those caps go bad pretty readily. I think it's a plastic cap and they deteriorate. So fuel filter and cap. And I would like to also look at replacing my serpentine belt. I looked at it. The belt itself, I don't, it's not frayed or anything, but on like the idler pulleys, I see what looks to me like pieces of or rubber residue. Instead of that wheel pulley being totally shiny all the way around, it has some pieces stuck to it. Whether it's from this belt or from a previous belt, I don't know, but the belts are they're not hard to change from what I looked at. You just loosen the tensioner with a pry bar, pop the old belt off, and then put the new belt on. So hopefully I can... I wonder if I gotta undo radiator hoses and such. Well, I'll figure it out. There's something else that I found under the hood of the truck. So what I've noticed when I use the air conditioning in the cab, if I come to a stop, hot day, come to a stoplight, the air conditioning suddenly stops blowing real cold. This is on normal air conditioner. If I have it on the recirculate, it will stay blowing cold. But on normal, if I come to a stop, it starts to not be cold anymore. I mean, barely cold. It definitely changes and gets a lot warmer while I'm sitting still. And then when I start moving again, RPMs go up, I guess. The temperature, the air chills back out. I was under the hood looking around, and on the passenger side of under the hood, up on the firewall, where you would normally have your blower, your HVAC box and everything, where the fan is and all that. The box, what I'm certain is part of that system, it kind of it's a black plastic molded box that mounts up to its lid, and it has separated, and there's a gap of pretty good proportion, and I'm sure that hot engine air is getting sucked right up in there and lowering the quality of the air conditioning system. I'm sure of it. When I get up in there and try to pry the box back up, how am I going to get it to reseal? It looks like it used to have just a felt seal, and I guess somehow it was those two parts, those two halves were connected together. I can barely even pry it back up into position. It's super distorted from time, and it's kind of likes where it is now and doesn't want to go back up and reseat with the lid portion of it. So I got to figure that out. I mean, the air conditioning works and we can drive comfortably, but I have to always keep it on max AC, and I've always got it either all the way to the coldest, or I try to drop it back because I'm trying not to beat on the system so much. But usually it's when it's hot out, I've got it all the way on the coldest setting and on either the highest blow or the second to highest. So I'm still able to use it, but its efficiency is pretty bad. It's very inefficient, I should say it that way. So these are some of the things. So you guys have listened to me ramble on about these projects and service work I'm going to do. If you guys have any experience or any input that you can share with me that would help me do these things, I'd really appreciate it. Put it in the comments below. Especially what I just talked about with that heating box, that air conditioning box. I don't know what to do with that. I can barely get in there. I'm thinking, okay, I could somehow screw it back together, bolt it back together, but I can barely get in there to even do that kind of work with it. I wish I could. get the screw gun in there and zip, put some self-tappers and zip it right back together, but there's no way I can get in there with the way that thing's crammed up in there. Not a lot of room in the van to work on stuff up there under the hood. Not a lot of room at all. So if you guys have any input on that, please share it with me. I'd super appreciate that. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I will shoot video of these things that I'm working on, so if it helps anybody, that's really good. That's why I make all these videos, to try to help other people. So if you like the video, leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave me a thumbs down. Leave me a comment, stickers and stuff below. And thanks again, everybody, for watching. Everybody be good.